What's going on, DMG clan? Today I'm going to answer a lot of questions I had and cover everything I've experienced with the Mig Switch card. Oh, sorry, that was the Russian side. The Mig Switch flash card, or your Nintendo Switch. It might not be everything that you hope for in 2024. Here it is, the Mig Switch flash card. It's real. I know some people haven't got it yet, talking to you, Bob, and some other YouTube content creators, but the reason why I got it so early was because I was impatient and ordered it sketchily off of AliExpress. And I say sketchily because you never know what you're going to get on there. I pre-ordered this flash card back in, I think, January or the end of January with the Mig Switch dumper. I did the combo and it still has not shipped. Did I lose my 200 bucks? I don't know. But I paid $130 for this thing off of AliExpress, and hopefully my Mig Switch flasher still shows up with my second Mig Switch. Today, I'm going to be showing you sort of everything that the other two content creators that kind of showed this thing did not really explain very well of what this card actually is. The very first thing I'm going to say is it's not an R4 card. It's not an easy flash GBA flash card of any sort. And it's not an easy flash parallel R4 card style card or any of those type of cards whatsoever. And the reason why I say this is because I had this question of the whole thing about getting games for free to put them on this card. I know a lot of people do that, and that is one big question that a lot of people are going to have. Yes, you can get games certain ways that I'm not going to tell you how, where you can just put them on your R4 card and then play them. This is not that. This card specifically needs you to have specific files from each and every single game that you see here to actually be able to play it. You have to have the physical carts to actually be able to put the game on this cart. Now, I have a hacked Nintendo Switch, and I'm going to be sharing my experience about how I ended up getting that hacked Nintendo Switch so that I could take my games properly this time, because when I did this before, I only took the one file, which is the main game file, and saved it on my hard drive, that was able to actually dump 5 total files that your physical game cart has. Each game cart has specific ID numbers, specific certificates that are generic to each game. So I have 2 Minecraft games here. Both of these have a different certificate. Now, there's a big conspiracy about, is Nintendo going to catch on if I have my Mig Switch plugged into this device and plugged into this device? Who knows? We don't know that yet because it's way too early to tell. Now, I did test if you can play on your Mig Switch flash card and play on your regular card at the same time. So I tested this out with some Mario Kart. And as you can see here, it does work. Now, the other thing that some people might ask is, what about taking it and putting it in your device after you put all your games on it? So let's open it up, look inside. Yes, it's real. I've already got my micro SD card prepped and ready to go with the files that the migswitch.com website has provided me with this just an update, and then basically the firmware to back up my games on my hacked Nintendo Switch. And I'm going to be able to plug this in to my non-hacked. Yes, you don't need a hacked Nintendo Switch. You can tell because my system is currently 1.8 or 18.0.0, whereas this one is my hacked Nintendo Switch Lite And you can tell it's hacked if you go to the system firmware, go to the settings, and you can see 18.jams.17. That is the hacked version of my Nintendo Switch, whereas this one's not. And it reads it. Now, is Nintendo going to block this eventually? Who knows? I don't think we can actually reverse engineer this properly. I know there's people that have reverse engineered it, but to the point of actually blocking them to know that we're using the Mig Switch flash cart, I don't know. So what I'm going to show you here now is the annoying part of this flash cart. I have 8 different games loaded on here right now. Now, these 8 different games I have to cycle through by pushing this down and then popping it back in after I get the no notification symbol that shows that the card's not inside anymore. So if I pull this out, that symbol's gone, I put it back in, it's going to cycle to the next game. Sometimes it's buggy. I don't know if it's because I don't do it fast enough, but what I do is I pull it all the way out, put it back in, and I think it has a timer to check to see how long I pulled it out for or something. But I know based off of this little symbol from what I've studied is that I have to wait for that to go away, and then I put it back in and it cycles to my next game. And as you can see, I have all of these games sitting right here and they do load right in. So let's jump into a quick game for a second. I'm going to go into Rayman Legends just because it's a game that doesn't take forever to load. And I have that game right here, and that's my physical game that I have dumped with my hacked Nintendo Switch to be able to preserve it, keep it on my SD card for eternity, so that my game that is sitting right here can be preserved forever. Now, Nintendo doesn't understand that, and that's why I emphasize that a couple times. So, who is this for? Well, this is for people that do have a large game library. They do have a large, I don't know, SD card or SSD or hard drive of some sort where they want to back up all these games and keep them somewhere safe. This is for people that want to travel and they only want to bring one card with them inside of the device that just stays in there at all times. They don't risk putting it in a case, for example, which was brought to my attention. What about your case that you bring with you? You put all your cards in here and, well, you risk the opportunity of putting your card in there by mistake like that, and then you lost your card because you weren't paying attention and it's gone. You know, that does happen, and it especially does happen with kids. So this could be geared towards kids, for example. Say you're a father of kids, which is what I am. I have all these cards. I have 3 Nintendo Switches for my kids, and I have 3 Mig Switches. And I show my kids how to navigate in and out of the games quickly, which they're pretty smart about that. Then that could be where this leads to who it's for. It could be for the father as well, which obviously it's for me. But I'm going to be giving another one to my kids for them to play with and test out when it shows up. But for now, obviously, this one is my only one because I was impatient and had to buy it off AliExpress to share with all of you. Another thing is, what about ruining your SD or your game cart slot? A lot of people are going to say, well, what if you pop that in and out of there a million times? Well, think about it. I'm taking this game out, I'm putting this game in, play it for 20 minutes. I'm taking this game out, putting this game in, play it for 20 minutes. I'm taking this game out, putting this game in, playing it for 20 minutes. And this card slot was made for that. I don't know what the full specs are for this card slot. I know it will wear out after time if you're not paying attention to how you put things in there, but that is made for that. And you're not physically taking this all the way out anyways. You're just pushing it down, waiting for your game to load. As you can see, it loaded my last game that I was playing. Popping it out, waiting for that little symbol to go away, putting it back in, and then flashing it. I don't know, like that's why I said it just kind of bugs out for a second, and there it goes. It's loading the next set of games. And you're just not doing that. You're not taking it fully out. You're just popping it in and out. And yes, that's kind of annoying if you have a dozen games or 500 games on there, which I highly unlikely recommend you to do. Whereas you have a hard drive. I'm going on vacation. I want to bring Five Nights at Freddy's, Link's Awakening, and Minecraft with me. I put those 3 games on this thing and take off the other games for the time being. My saves are on my internal SD card or my micro SD card. And I have these 3 games still sitting at home because they're on my micro SD card, my fast micro SD card that is. And I'm using the Silicon Power micro SD card for this with the A2V30. It is a very fast micro SD card. And I'm going to be showing you in a few seconds here the difference between the speed of using the Mig Switch opposed to the physical cart, but it still plays the same. So let's check that out now. So on the top, I have my physical game cart. On the bottom, I have the Mig Switch cart. The Mig Switch cart, you'll see in a second here, when I press A on both of these, it could be a delay between my fingers, but I think it's the actual delay of the SD card reading for a second is a little bit slower than the actual physical cart. And now that is because the physical cart has a different board in it, obviously, and it's hard coded into the cart itself. And that's all I know about that. I'm not going to get scientific about it. It's just I know it's flashed to the cart chip that's inside it. So yes, the Mig Switch cart is a little bit slower. It's not the end of the world though, because if I have to wait a couple more seconds, whatever, I'm not impatient as long as I can play the game and it doesn't crash on me. Now, what about those that have a hack switch? And you've already got all your dumped games installed on your hack switch, for example. Do you really think you need this? I don't really think so, because you've already got your hack switch and it's already loaded with all your games installed and stuff, so maybe not. A hack switch, like I said, I have a few games here that are my own games that I've dumped on here and put on here, backed them up and put them on here from even my eShop store and stuff, and was able to install them on my device. So if you already have a hack switch, then maybe the Mig Switch isn't really for you. The Mig Switch, again, who it's for is just basically those that don't want to have a hack switch. They do have a large game library. And that brings me to my next point. What about those that buy a game and dump it and then resell it for the purposes of just ripping it for their Mig Switch cart? The only way I can see that being a problem is if Nintendo has the entire database of all these certificates and you go online and they check to see if Jimmy on the purple Switch Lite and Joey on the gray Switch Lite have the same game plugged in. Now, I do not want to test this only because I don't have $1 million to be buying Nintendo Switches left and right and center. Maybe somebody else will do this. Hint, hint, Taki Udon or somebody. But I will not try to test if I can play Mario Kart, my physical copy, and play the Mig Switch, unless obviously my YouTube channel takes off and I can afford that. But if you guys want to try it out and see if it works, go ahead. But it is a kind of a scary thing to think about, because these individual carts that I'm telling you right now, these ones right here, they do have specific, and it's not these numbers on the front, I've already confirmed this, specific IDs internally for each individual game. And I've checked these IDs based off of these 2 Minecraft games I have. They do have different IDs for them that are being read by this Mig Switch cart. And that's where the piracy stops. This will make you buy physical games, I think. Because it is a cool option to have in your collection for your Nintendo Switch if you want to keep your games safe from being ruined, or you have kids, you want them to play Breath of the Wild because it's not an online game, or you want to play Crash Bandicoot 4 Insane Trilogy, or, well, this is the 4 one, I have the Trilogy one too, but anyways, you want your kids to be able to play the same game on this and that. I know that defeats the purpose of spending more money for Nintendo, for example. Why would we do that when we can do stuff like this? This is my game. I've spent money on this. I can do whatever I want with it. I don't care what they say about this. I am doing what I want with my $90, that's 180 bucks. That's 200, what do we got here? 200, what can I do? 180, 9, 8, 12, 9, 8, 27, 270, another 360. And then of course, these are like $30 games. This is a $40 game. Like, do the math. It gets expensive after a while, especially when you have 3 different Switches. You have 3 kids that want to play on them, and you have a $150 Mig Switch card that can load everything onto it, plus of course a $50 micro SD card. So you're looking at approximately $200 in the end with a 512 gigabyte card, whereas you don't really need that. You can get away with like 128 gigabytes and you're fine. So I'm going to ask you guys some questions, whether or not you think this thing is worth it. I want to hear what you guys say. I don't care if you want to say this thing is, you know, a waste of time. I just want to hear it. I don't care. I just want to hear what you think about it. I've had it for about 5 days now, and I think it's a cool little thing, but is it really worth it? Depending on all of these scenarios with the hack Switch, with the fact that you already have physical games, do you like just carrying all your physical games with you safely? Like, I know there's little plastic containers like this that you can use. I don't know. I just want to hear what you guys think. I think it's worth it, personally, but I'm an advocate about backing up my games, putting them on little flashcards like this, or the R4 card, for example. And I've done this for almost 15 years. I've backed up a lot of games in my lifetime, and obviously I've sold some games that I don't have anymore, but I do have a small collection of actual physical games. As you see here, I still have my Switch games. I'm not getting rid of these because it's cool to actually own these games and have a digital copy of them backed up on your computer somewhere, just in case, for any unknown reason, like having a Mig Switch card in 2024. Should you buy it? Again, yes, I think so, from different reasons, but that's up to you. Again, I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. This is all I'm going to say right now. There's so much more that could be said. I want to hear what you guys talk about in the community in regards to the craziest flash cart that has come around by 2024. And there's already clones out there, I guess. So let's see what happens with that. See you next time, guys. I know this is a little bit of a different thing, but the Mig Switch is very popular right now, and I wanted to get this out as soon as possible. Love you all. Hopefully see you soon, because this should be up as soon as possible.